Hello everybody, today I'm going to tell you how I pick reviews and reviewers and how I follow them. I'm going to sit down, put my mic on, start by saying, in the old day, like in the 50s and 60s and 70s, even I'm starting from 70s because I'm born at 69. So starting from 70, there was only a handful of real magazine, printed magazine, of course, back then, as I remember, maybe Stereophile, Absolute Sound, audio and stereo reviews. I can't tell you exactly when they came out because I was born in Hong Kong and I came to Canada in '87. And if you're in Canada, there were a couple other smaller ones, but nobody knows in the US anyway. The UHF is one that's based in Quebec. He's still around. Gerard's still around, but nobody else in the outside Canada knows who they are. So that's from a standpoint of the American point of view. There's only 4 magazines that I've mentioned. I know there's other magazines in the other part of the country. There was at least like 5 or 6 in Hong Kong. Little small city with 6 or 7 million people that have like 5 or 6 magazines in Hong Kong. And there's also a famous one in Stereo Review in Japan. I believe there was Stereo Review. I think I have a couple. No, Stereo Sound. There. Stereo Sound. I actually have a few copies of those in that bookshelf right there. But anyway, so that was back then. That was printed magazine, and there were so few of them that you have to prove your worth to actually being in those magazines. Most people couldn't even write good enough to actually be published anything. And now there's 80s, then desktop publishing in the 90s, and now there's online. Back then was back then that was you can actually post something. Audio Asylum. There wasn't really a professional magazine, but back then in the mid 90s, that was started that on internet. When the internet started, then magazine come out. There was Soundstage, one of the very first one, and then. Nowadays, then there's most of the Soundstage reviewers have their own magazine now, and then when the YouTube come on, anybody sign up YouTube and have their own channel, and then if you pick up a cell phone, you can start your own review. So reviews and reviewers are popping like weeds, and most of them are people that thinks they can write. I can write. I can get my point across, but I can't write. But I can tell when people cannot write. Some of them you get the point across, but some of them are not very good writer. But you don't need to write anymore because you're doing video reviews. So you just have to present and show things and this and that. And now everything I said in this video is mostly my opinion, my point of view. Not much facts in there, except there's a few names of magazines that I put out. That's facts because they were magazine. They still are magazines. A couple of them are actually gone. So, anyway, so back to my opinion. My opinion to date is reviewers are reviewers not magazine anymore. It's a YouTuber. They are everywhere. How are you going to follow them? How are you going to pick which one's good, which one's bad? They're all about the same. They all talk about the same thing. They always have clickbait saying like, best speaker under $5,000 and $1,200 speaker that's better than a $10,000 speakers, and you get a streamer that costs like $199 is better than the streamer that costs $5,000. There might be truth to that, but you can't expect a $200 piece of equipment actually perform better than $5,000. They might perform close, but then you have other things to consider is. Are you going to get any support if you have any problem with that $200 one compared to the $5,000 one? But that's not not the topic of this review, this video. But I'm going to backtrack to the main things. How are we going to pick reviewers and reviews? And that's how I pick. This apply all the way back to printed magazine. When I start to read a review, I have to randomly read a lot of review, and that's meaning reviewers, and then I go out and listen to the equipment the reviewer said is good and see if I agree with him or her. If I agree, then I'll read more of their review. If I don't agree, I give them benefit of the doubt for first time, second time. If it start keep disagreeing what I hear, nah, this is not somebody that I want to follow. But if it's somebody that I hear the equipment and agree somewhat to fully agree on what they say in the review, I can actually read the review and eventually trust them more. Do I trust any of them right now after 30 years? No. Do I actually read review anymore? I'm going to tell you at the end of the video. But if you are newer or first timer and trying to get into the hobbies and start reading review, again, just like the other video that I did the other day, I said, do not spend money on the first thing that you thought it sounds good. Same thing. If you don't think about the first review that you read is a positive review and that piece of equipment is good. Now, it's probably good, but is it suitable to you? Maybe and maybe not. But it's seldom that you can find any bad review anymore because everybody want to put a good review or nobody want to offend anybody else and everybody want to make money. Make money. So that's why they go on YouTube. Easiest way to make money. More or little, make money. I am making money by doing this video, but that's not my main purpose of making money. If I actually try to make money to make a living from YouTube, I would be very, very, very poor right now. So I don't make enough money on YouTube, but I would like, what I do is I like to present my opinion, my point of view to you. It's not necessarily facts, but in my head it's facts because it's my opinion. So the way I look at it is just, as I said, that if you read review and heard and actually hear that equipment that you think it sounds good and the review tell you it sounds good, it's worth following more. But there are so many out there right now, and they're basically talking about the same thing at the same period of time, and that's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 products that actually in fashion at that moment. Everybody talk about it. And I also find there's a lot of reviewers like to go to trade shows because trade shows are eye candy. And most people cannot go to trade show, especially if in a small town. You gotta fly to the big city to go to trade show, and YouTube are great for those trade shows. And trade shows are pop up like weed. Quote unquote from one of the Ye magazine editor and publisher. More than 10 years ago, he said, trade shows are pop up like weed. I can go to every one of them. Unquote. That's what he said. And if you want to know who said that, PM me, I will tell you, but I won't tell you in public. I don't know he even remembered that. He probably maybe remember what he said to me because he probably said that to many other people too. Anyway, so trade show are eye candy. You see all kinds of expensive equipment, and most people can't afford them. What's the point of review? What's the point of reading reviews? It's like just ooh and ah and drew about it. If that's your games, fine. It's not my game. When I was reading review, I actually want to read review that give me some information. Now, again, reviews are opinion from the reviewers, not necessarily fact. Fact is like, that speaker stand is 24 inches high. That's fact. That speaker have a lot of bass. That's opinion. That ribbon tweeter sounds really smooth. That's opinion. That driver is 4.5 inches in diameter. That's fact. So you got to separate fact and opinion. Most of them are opinions. Don't take it as fact, because if you do, you kind of smear out the usefulness of the review, because most of them are actually opinion. They don't necessarily suit what you think or what you hear or what you see, because they don't have your hearing, they don't have your ears, they don't have your room, they don't have your equipment, they don't have the AC power, if that actually get down to that point. So read as many reviews as we want, but take it with a grain of salt, sometimes a pound of salt. But those are their opinion, and that's how I find review and follow reviews. And after 20, 30, 40 years of reading that, I read less and less and less. And to this point, I don't read any more product review, not even mine. And when I have product review of my own product, I only check the facts and just saying like, how many inputs and outputs, and what's the output maximum outputs, and what's the minimum inputs. That's what I check facts. And do I care about how they sound from the reviewer point of view? No, I don't. That's their opinion. And I'm going to end the story today, right now, and I'm going to turn off the camera now. Until next time, stay safe. Bye.